Hey Glam Dolls, welcome to my channel and my first tutorial on my girl Mega today. And today I'm going to give her a full glam look with matte eyeshadows. The first thing I like to do is wipe my client with Neutrogena wipes to make sure they're free of oil and dirt. Next, I'm going to use my favorite brow gel called Brow Freeze by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This will make sure your brows stay flat and in place all day. Now ladies, in order to keep your makeup flawless, you have to use a good primer. I like to use Angel Veil by NYX. Now I'm going to create her brows with my go-to brow pencil, Goof Proof by Benefits. It's in the shade 4.5. I like this pencil because it's precise and does what I need it to do. To clean up the brow, I'm using a flathead brush by MAC and my favorite concealer, Born This Way by Too Faced in the shade Cookie. The flathead brush makes sure that underneath the brow is straight and what I call crispy, and y'all know I love a crispy brow. To smudge the concealer, I like to use my Real Technique smudge brush. You can pick this up at Ulta Beauty, Target, or a local drugstore. For the top of the brow, I love this brush I got from one of my favorite makeup artists, Cake by Max. I like the way it carves out the brow with minimal effort. Then with my smudge brush, I'm going to blend the concealer into her skin. One trick that I like to do is to smudge between the brows to enhance the shape and help create the ombre effect. Now I'm going to take that same concealer and conceal the top of her lids. This is going to serve as my eyeshadow base. Remember ladies to always use a concealer a couple shades lighter than your skin. This is going to make your eyeshadow pop. To set the concealer and keep your eyeshadow from creasing, use a translucent powder and a fluffy brush to apply. One of the best powders in the market is Laura Mercier in the shade Translucent. Here I have applied Scotch tape to give the outer corner a straight edge, and I'm using the pink shade Busybody from the Wahala palette by my favorite all-time makeup line, Juvia's Place Girl. She has the bomb eyeshadows. Now ladies, I am huge on blending. Blend until your heart is content. I'm using a Morphe blending brush. I'll put the style number in the comments below. Next, I'm going to smoke the entire bottom lid with the shade Shawada from the Warrior 2 palette. Once again by Juvia's Place. Now I'm going to remove the tape. Watch that straight edge, y'all. Ain't it sweet? Now here I'm taking my makeup wipe to clean up underneath the eyes. This is why I have to do eyes first, because eyeshadow, especially dark shadows, have fallout that will trickle down to the face and stain your foundation. Now try cleaning that up. That's just gonna be a huge mess. For Mega's foundation, I'm using Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 332 Golden Caramel. One thing I can say about this foundation is that Maybelline did their thing when it comes to darker skin tones, because there are so many undertones and one brand may not be a good match. I'm a big fan of NARS foundation, but I'm gonna always keep Maybelline Fit Me in my kit, and I think it's like $8 a bottle. Okay, y'all, so here comes my favorite part, highlighting. I'm using that same concealer by Born This Way in the shade Cookie. I'm going to highlight under her eye, her cheeks, nose, forehead, her top lip, and her chin. Here I'm using one of my favorite brushes by Real Techniques, the Pop Brush. I'm going to use this brush to blend out the concealer by popping it into the skin. To me, using the pop method is better. I just think that using a beauty blender on this part soaks up the concealer and takes away from giving her that snatched look. Sorry for this view, but my client knows she be moving, y'all. But I wanted to show you me blending the forehead and using the lighter concealer down the bridge of her nose. Just a little trick when you really want to snatch that nose. Notice that I'm using a wedge sponge on the outer corner of her eyes to make sure the edges of the shadow stay sharp and diagonal. Use this technique if you want to achieve this look, because brushes will basically brush it away and it's going to be hard for you to recreate the look. Here I'm taking my beauty blender to blend out the edges of where I placed the concealer. Why? Because the sponge has dark foundation on it, so it's perfect to cancel out any harsh lines. You never want anyone to see where you place the concealer and didn't blend it out. Now, one thing I love is a bright under eye, y'all. To achieve this look, I'm using NARS Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. You basically use a concealer that's a couple shades lighter than the first concealer that you use for your highlight. Put a dot in the inner tear duct and blend it out under the eye with the pointy end of your beauty blender to achieve this look. To set the concealer, I'm using the Mercier translucent powder. I absolutely love this powder, y'all. It just melts into the skin. I can tell you though that it's a little pricey, but I promise you it's worth it. Okay, ladies, listen up. This is how you're going to snatch your face. Here I'm using Juvia's Place Bronzer in the shade Tan. It's a duo and I'm using the top shade to warm up the skin. I'm contouring her forehead and her cheekbones. Remember, when contouring the cheeks, sweep your brush in an upward motion towards the face. This is going to keep the face looking lifted and youthful. Next, I'm going to contour her nose using Black Opal's concealer in the shade Truly Topaz. Excuse my raggedy brush, y'all. It comes from washing my brushes daily. To cut Megan's contour, I'm using the Sasha Buttercup powder. I'm basically dragging the powder underneath the contour, starting at her ear to the corner of her lip. Now I'm taking the Mercier powder, placing it under her eye and on the sides and bridge of her nose. I'm doing this to snatch her nose and catch any eyeshadow fallout when I smoke her under eye. Now ladies, I'm not a big fan of eyeliner pencils when it comes to my clients. Sometimes when you sharpen them, they can accidentally scratch the eye. Here I like to use black Maybelline Studio eyeliner gel. It dries and stays in place all day. To smoke her under eye, I'm using my favorite pencil brush by It Cosmetics. I think I picked it up at Ulta. I like it because it's so precise. I'm using that same pink shadow from the Wahala palette, Busybody. Now it's time to dust away the excess powder from the entire face. Before I put on her lashes, I'm going to coat her lashes with black mascara. You can use any brand, so it doesn't really matter. This is so important because eyeshadow will trickle down onto the lash, so you will have this dusty looking lash underneath the black lash, and that looks so gross to me. Now it's time to line her lips. Here I'm using Morphe's lip pencil in the shade Vibes. Now, I don't use a lot of MAC products anymore, but one thing I can say, MAC got some of the best new lipsticks ever. Here I'm using one of my faves called Shrimpton. Y'all gonna see me use this one a lot. To blush out Megan's cheeks, I'm using Baddie on the Block by Kylie Jenner. It's a pinkish shade and it applies nothing like it looks. I love it for my lighter skin tones and my Caucasian clients. Now when I tell you I have found the best lip gloss in the world, girl, Glass by Juvia's Place, honey. When I go to Ulta, I get all of them. I grab every last one of them off the rack. Okay, time to apply some highlight to Mega's look. Here I'm using a rose gold shade called Glowrez by Crayon Case. I love me some Super Scent. I plan to meet her someday and hopefully I can do her makeup too. Okay, y'all, this is the part we've all been waiting for. Lashes. Watch how Mega work these lashes, y'all. Okay, so after I have touched up her brows, I'm going to finish the look by setting the makeup with the Soft Focus Setting Spray by Hourglass. It just makes everything melt together like butter, baby. Well, that completes this look that I did for my beautiful friend Mega. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the button. More videos coming soon. Thanks, y'all.